Tell us, why do you want to go?
They attacked our country. I don't want other people fighting for my freedom.
Man, you sound like a World War II recruiting poster. You think war is a test? You go out on the battlefield and prove yourself and come back stronger? Do you think this is a game?
No, I don't think this is a game.
Marshall, for once in your life, listen to me. You have a wife who loves you. You have a father who doesn't want to bury another son. You have a life. And you're acting like you're just going to throw it away.
Not everyone comes back from war as broken as you.
You don't think I know what I'm talking about? I was a medic in Vietnam. I saw things you couldn't imagine in your worst nightmare. Marshall, every day I regret that war. And now you just want to volunteer for it. Think about Marianne. She didn't come back the same. I didn't come back the same.
Don't act like Vietnam was a mistake. That was the only good thing you did in your life until you shot yourself in the foot. Yeah, leave. Just like you left Alpha Company.
Marshall!
What?
Why do you want to go? Is it because you want to get away from me?
No, Jane, I love you.
Then why do you want to go?
I told you, I don't want other people fighting my battles.
You saw what Vietnam did to your father. What if you don't come back as you? Don't leave me.
Don't worry, I'm not my father. I won't come back as broken as he was.
Are you ready to see your son without his arm?
Yeah, I suppose so.
As soon as it'll ever be. Marshall, you're back! I can't believe you're back! You have to tell me everything. How are you doing?
Marshall, I can't tell you it'll get better. For me, it never did. But I want you to listen to me. You have a wife. You already left her once. If you don't think you can beat this, if the war has broken you, leave her. She doesn't need you if you're going to be like me.
I don't think I can beat this, but I still love her.
Well, if that's your attitude, leave. Oh, son, stop crying. Listen, maybe you shouldn't listen to me. After all, I'm the epitome of what not to do. You know what? A buddy of mine, I think his name was O'Brien, he had a wife and a daughter. He's pretty successful, and you know what? He still suffers from PTSD, but he's learned how to cope with it. I can't beat this, but maybe you can. Promise me that you'll try. Do it for yourself, and if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your wife. Monday, you go see a therapist.
Do you want me to go call a therapist?
Oh, please stay.
You'll be okay, Marshall.
Damn it, I'm so scared. I'm so damn scared.
Did you know him?
Not really, you know. I'm not even sure if he existed.
What do you mean?
Sometimes when I see the raid, he's there. Other times he's not.
Walk me through it. What happened?
We've gone through this before. I don't know what happened. I mean, I was there, but sometimes I remember one way, other times another.
Don't be hostile. I just want to listen. I can help you.
You want to help? How about telling me why my damn arm still hurts?
It's a phantom pain. We've gone through this before.
So? I don't care what it is. Just get rid of it.
Marshall, slow down. I can't talk to you if you get yourself worked up.
Then what am I even paying you for? You said you could help.
I can. I just need you to take a few deep breaths, okay? You're working yourself up.
Why the hell does it matter if I take deep breaths? It's not going to change anything. It's not going to make me forget. Not going to even help my arm.
I understand you're angry, Marshall, but you have to listen to me.
Why? Why the hell should I listen to you?
Because you don't want to end up like your father, do you?
I am nothing like my father. I don't drink myself to sleep every night. I don't take out my anger on others. I don't...
No, you don't. But if you're not careful, you might change. You have PTSD, and that's just what your father has too. It manifests itself in different ways. Marshall, I want you to watch this video. Right here. It might help you get to know the disease better.
Oh, didn't see you there. You're probably wondering why you're here. Well, your doctor just diagnosed you with PTSD. Let's start with the basics. What is PTSD? PTSD stands for Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder. PTSD can happen after traumatic events such as war, sexual harassment, sexual assault, or a natural disaster. Symptoms are classified into 4 categories: reliving, avoiding, increased irritability, and negative connotations or mood. Have you been having flashbacks, severe anxiety, nightmares, or uncontrollable thinking of the event? Don't worry, you're not alone. In an average population, 7 to 8% will have PTSD. There are many different ways to treat PTSD. Treatment will teach you to cope effectively and will lower the intensity of the symptoms. Don't worry, there is still hope.
Nice. Yeah. So, how you doing? Let's go get the ball.
Yeah, terrible. Basketball isn't that much fun anymore. One arm.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not just talking about basketball. How's life treating you in general?
Not bad. How about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Jesus, I can't even pretend. Life just hasn't been the same since Takugar.
Like, every time I remember the raid, it's like stuff happens, but stuff happens that wasn't there. Like, I know what happened, but I see differently.
You know what the worst part is?
What?
Those people who want you to be a broken man, who like have this idea of what a veteran looks like, but once they see what an actual like broken human being looks like, they like stick a tail between their legs. I mean, dude. I mean, I had this guy in a group therapy session once, and somehow he like picked up that I was a veteran, and you know what he did?
What do you do?
Well, he asked me about like the war, so I told him. I mean, like, the guy asked a question, I'm gonna tell him. I want it to be exciting, so I didn't like talk about the boring kitchen duty and stuff. But once I mentioned that time that I got gangrene in my ass because that stupid medic didn't actually help me in time, he just like retreated, like, whoa, man, I didn't mean for it to get personal. I mean, he asked me and wanted to tell him what an war actually looks like. He just can't take it.
You know what drives me nuts?
Wow.
Is all those bleeding heart liberals who don't understand how complicated war actually is. This one time I was having a chat with my coworker, and I started telling him that time when we were playing catch with a smoke grenade.
Yeah, oh, that was fun. You screamed so much when the grenade actually went off.
I tried telling that to my coworker. I mean, he was convinced that we were playing with live ordnance just because we were desensitized to weaponry. People just fail to understand that even in war, there are still some sweet moments. I've tried telling Jane the stories, but she'll explain that as a rule she hates war stories. She can't understand why people want to wallow in all the blood and gore. She supports me, but she just doesn't get it.
It's nice to know I can talk to somebody. I mean, my therapist is useless. He actually assigned me homework. He gave me a book to read. Like, it had some stupid name, Things They Carried, that was it. And I mean, it's like, I pay him to help me, and he just assigns me a book to read. It's like I'm in high school.
Yeah, man. This is actually more therapeutic than my actual therapist.
I know, they keep wanting us to relive Takugar. It's like they don't realize that people are drinking to forget because it's painful to remember. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the bullet took out a good chunk of my memory. I mean, I think I actually remember the horses in that battle. You know, the one in Afghanistan.
I think you might be a bit insane.
I know, that's why I keep trying to tell my therapist, but you know what she says?
PTSD?
PTSD.
Dreams? Same. Can't forget them, can't drown them.
Dad, do you remember Vietnam? Like, do you remember what actually happened?
Oh, I remember. But that's not what feels right. A thing can happen, and it's a total lie. Another thing can not happen, and it's truer than truth. Absolute occurrence is kind of irrelevant.
When I try to think back on the war, I can't tell where I am or why I was there. The only certainty is overwhelming ambiguity.
Hey Marshall, I found this for you in the mail recently.
Marshall, I want you to tell me about Takugar. What happened?
Actually, I came to the realization that the truth is rather subjective. Like, don't get me wrong, there are the undeniable facts on what literally happened there, but everyone's got their own perspective, their own personal truth. I know that kind of sounds cliche, but like Josh has got his own personal truth. All the other soldiers there, they've got their own perspective, and I've got mine. I can't deny what I remember. I can only accept it, even if it does disgust me. I'm going to tell you about the battle.
Okay, keep going.
Best I can. So we were called as reinforcements to aid a deployment of SEALs on Takugar Mountain. They were supposed to be a reconnaissance mission, but then they were ambushed by Al-Qaeda. So we came down in a chopper, and the rotors were extremely loud. We came about 15 minutes after they called. The rotors were so loud that I really couldn't hear much. That's probably why I didn't hear the RPG hit the chin hook. You'd think a heavy copter like a chin hook would be able to withstand small arms fire, but it didn't. The bullets tore right through the copter and crashed down into the snow. Once we got out of the chopper, it was a massacre. You know, having to weave through the deafening fire of all the AKs. I mean, why do terrorists use AKs? Like, I guess they're reliable, they don't jam, but goddamn, they're ugly. I mean, that's probably why I don't actually remember there being AKs. Mostly, everyone in my memory was just using handguns, even though I know for sure they were using AKs. But, yeah, barely had time to get to cover, and that's all I remember. So we stormed up the hill and came face to face with Al-Qaeda. It's kind of funny. You'd think that they would, you know, I would remember them as looking like monsters, but they actually looked like your average everyday American you'd see on the street. You know, they wore all white, like they were a part of the snowy earth. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that's just the way I remember it. There was one, though, that looked awfully familiar. I'm sorry, it's hard to get through. But, like, one of them was Jane, you know, lying down right there, right after I blew a hole in her head. I killed my wife. It's hard to remember what exactly happened in the battle. It's difficult to separate what happened from what seemed to happen. What seems to happen becomes its own happening and has to be told that way. The pictures get jumbled, you tend to miss a lot. And then afterward, when you go to tell about it, there's always that surreal seamlessness which makes the story seem untrue. But which fact represents the hard and exact truth as it seemed. My memory fades out, and I only know that America won the battle because I'm still alive. I only know that I lost the battle because I'm still alive.